Well, I'm just driving around Ohio. Got a million things to do today. It was a rain day, so I guess it allowed me to get some stuff done. Allowed everybody to kind of catch their breath because it's been so damn hot. There's sickness everywhere right now. James just called me to tell me Braemar coughed. He may not be able to race on Sunday. Tim just called me to say, well, Captain's Maid's AST is coming down, but she's coughing. She's not going to be able to race on Monday. You know, it's frustrating, but at the same time, you know, this is one of the traps you fall into where you're like, well, you know, we've waited so long, we should race this horse, where you should look at it the other way and say, we've waited this long, why don't we do it right? And Tim said, what do you want to do? And I keep talking about the pressures of horse racing, right? Tim knows the answer to what do you want to do. But, you know, every horseman feels that pressure, right? Feels that pressure to race and or to train. And, you know, sometimes what's obvious is what's best for the horse is not always what happens. And you can see how it could happen easily. But for us, for me, there's no two ways about it. If Braemar's coughing, he's not racing. If Captain's Maid's coughing and her AST's a little higher, muscle count's still high, she's not racing. And that only ensures that they'll race that much better when we do get them to 100%. So my partners on both of those horses will know what I'm talking about. So it's frustrating. It's a kick in the butt, but it's everywhere. It's in Ohio. You saw it last night with Overdue Mission. Not a great horse. Pretty good filly and qualified pretty good. We've been waiting a long time to get her back decent. Qualified well and then raced poorly last night. Scope sick. That's what happens. And there was no indication that she was sick until afterwards. None. She ate good. She seemed good. Qualified great 6 days before. Just wasn't. So that's frustrating. So I'm going to go through the 2-year-olds with you. I know I'm driving down the road, but at the same time, it's a highway. So let's start with Adrenaline Rush. So a little caveat before we start. A lot of people are asking, when is Warwie Was Up going to race? When is Adrenaline Rush? When is Brilliant Corner? When are they going to race? It's tough to get horses in right now. We talked about that in the opening video, how difficult it was to get horses entered right now, and we're doing the best we can. They need to race. They need to go fast mile next week, and if that, hopefully we can get them into train Wednesday. If not, we'll just put them into qualify. We'll put them into qualify. It's 17th, the 11th. It's going to be too close. Wednesday is going to have to be our training day. So, Steve, if you're listening out there, Steve Palermo, our IT guy, who gets us our training days. What the hell is going on with this thing? Who gets us our training days? We are going to need you for Wednesday, for sure. Everybody has to train on Wednesday because they haven't got in to go. So that's where we're at right now. So that leads into our opening horse, Adrenaline Rush. Same horse we open with every week. Raced great. A little too great, maybe. James got set back with Adrenaline Rush, but at the same time showed that he had lots of pop. And, you know, if he had been in a different situation, not James's fault. I mean, you don't know until after. But had he been in a different situation with him and got a chance to attack, who knows what would have happened. Horse has clearly got some ability and some talent, and is going to be a good horse for us all summer long by the looks of things. Argento is in to go tonight at Georgia, and I just got off the phone with James talking about equipment. Now, we made some shoeing changes, which usually precipitate equipment, or made some shoeing changes that usually precipitate equipment changes. I told him to maybe go last trip with him, see how he feels. Obviously, the rules of trotting apply. Rule number 1, keep him trotting. So hopefully, obviously, you're going to see this video after he races, so I don't know what took place, but James is going to go last trip with him, see if we can get him hung up properly, so he'll be fine for Georgian, and then hopefully we can get him to Pennsylvania and race him in the Stallion Series' next start. Get some races strung together with these horses in a row consistently. So that's where we're at with Argento. He's racing Saturday night tonight, 2 days ago for you, in Georgian Downs. Barbie's Crown has turned out. We talk about that every week. I'm still going to say the horse is here because the horse is here. Some of the horses that are on this list won't be here on the next list. We are going to have a sale on Wednesday on Hoof Bid. We are going to have some protected bids on some of the horses. I'm not scared to say it. I'm not giving horses away. But if we're offered fair money for some of the horses we're putting up, or all the horses, then it makes sense to sell them. So Barbie's Crown is not on that list. She's turned out. We'll bring her back in, Steve and I. We'll bring her back in about a month. Beef and Cheddar, another horse, same boat as Adrenaline Rush. Need a race for him. Can't really find one just yet. Somebody said, well, why didn't you race on Monday? They had a 2-year-old race on Monday. Did you see who was in that 2-year-old race? I was born at night. It wasn't last night. I'm not racing against 2-year-olds that are going to go on 52. Beef and Cheddar does not need his neck stretched, and I knew exactly what was going to take place. Casey was going to have 1 or 2 horses in there. They're going to go in 53, 52, and I don't want Beef and Cheddar or Adrenaline Rush or War We Was Up or any of those horses in there. We put No Free Lunch in tonight, where that's a much easier class, but because it's back 6 days after the grassroots, or 5 days, we couldn't have raced our grassroots horses tonight, and I didn't want them in Monday because I knew it was going to happen. So Beef and Cheddar probably on the schedule for Wednesday to train. Just relax. The stake season is starting. A number of these horses are eligible to the Battle of Waterloo and the Dream Maker and a number of races. They'll start to race more consistently, but we need to be a little smarter about how we enter horses. And again, we can watch them get their head kicked in, but that's not going to help them. It's not going to help you. And we have to put them in the right class. And Monday was not a good class for Beef and Cheddar or Adrenaline Rush. So they'll train on Wednesday. Braemar. Just got off the phone with James. Great news. Braemar was coughing today. I could have thrown my phone right out the window. I was so sour. You know, this was 10 minutes after I talked to Tim Twaddle, who told me that Captain's Mate is sick and her AST is still high. So not having a lot of great luck getting our horses and keeping them at 100%. Eclair AM tied up the other day. Tied up bad enough, she's going to miss 2-3 weeks of training. So there's most of the summer gone with her. You know, we can look back at this further on down the year and say, well, maybe a blessing in disguise. It certainly doesn't feel like a blessing right now. It feels like a kick in the ass right now. So, but we have to deal with these issues as they come up, and we certainly can't pretend that they're not there. So whether it be Braemar coughing today, who's likely going to be scratched on Sunday, or whether it be Captain's Mate, who will be scratched on Monday in Pennsylvania, or Eclair AM, who doesn't get to go to Pennsylvania now. She was ready to trot 58, 59, hopefully on, that was my hope, on Friday, and instead she tied up. So just frustrating stuff to deal with, but you got to take it as it comes. So Braemar, as I said, may likely not race on Sunday. We'll see how the rest of the day goes for him. If he so much as coughs tomorrow, it could be a minor little thing. It could be something. And I'm very protective of Braemar, so I'd say there's probably a real good chance he's not going to Georgian Downs on Sunday. Better's Hope, I just finished talking to Ian. I put in a message out to Kevin asking how he trained. I apologize. I'm doing this list before I got the message from Kevin. For those of you who are owners of Better's Hope, I will be sending out a note the second I find out about how Better's Hope did this week and how he trained. It's important. We were in the midst of treating him for EPM. We changed some shoeing. I wanted to see a big change from him. And if we didn't see one, probably going to send him out to the field. That's only fair. I mean, and there's going to be questions asked of me. Why do some horses get to go to the field? Why do some horses get sold? We paid him a lot of money for Better's Hope. He's well bred. He looks like he just needs time to put it all together. He's shown some speed. So that would be the difference between him and, say, a Surreal Love. Surreal Love doesn't have a lot of breeding. Wasn't an expensive colt. Doesn't show. He got to that last hurdle. I loved Surreal Love, but he just got to that last hurdle where it's how fast can you go? Show me something. And he didn't have a lot to show. 59, 2 minutes. He'll make somebody a nice horse down the road, an overnight, kind of an overnight type horse, a raceway horse, as the old horseman who would have called them. But when it comes to us, what we're trying to achieve and trying to get to, not what we need. And for the people out there, I don't have to make the argument about horses that don't cost a lot. They don't know that. Spirit of Dio was a $10,000 yearling. I'm a Lovely Lady was a $14,000 yearling. So, what's her name, My Jazz was next to nothing. So anyway, I'm not going down that road. At the end of the day, there has to be a line drawn. We have to make that tough decision. Do you stay or do you go? Whether it be a baseball coach or football coach or the guy who manages the stable, decisions have to be made. And Surreal Love will be on Hoofbit, and Better's Hope, if he didn't train as good as we hope this week, he'll likely be going to the field. But I will give you an update as soon as I know about that. Blue Monk, another horse. Here's the first horse we've had this summer where allergies may cause him to miss some time. If he trains on Wednesday and there is so much as a hint of mucus, pimples, redness, swelling at the bifurcation at the bottom of his airway, he will not race for the next 3-4 weeks. Not going to. Not going down this road. We do it every year, and every year at the end of that road we say, why the hell did we do this? I'm not doing it this year. You can't learn from your mistakes. What the hell are you doing? So, when it comes to Blue Monk, he's going to get some time off. Brilliant Corner's a little sick this week. That's the reason he wasn't actually scheduled to race, other than the fact that there was no racing for him. He was a little sick. We put him on antibiotics, and we'll see how he responds to that. Obviously coming off a pretty big victory. So we want to take care of him, even as improbable as it was. I keep saying that. What somebody said, well, why was it so improbable? You have no idea. No idea. So, and that's I don't mean that as a dig on anybody. It's just, you couldn't script, I'll say it one more time. You couldn't script Brilliant Corners' training from October when we picked him up, or November, to now, July 10th. You couldn't write it all down, script it, and say, yeah, that looks about right. No, you couldn't do that. That guy can't park there. That's a bad driver. Brilliant Corner's a little sick this week. He'll need all the time. Hopefully we can get him healthy by next Wednesday, put a little training mile into him, and then have him ready to go for the grassroots. That's the point. That's the plan for us. Broadway Roll, her AST was a little bit high. I wouldn't say she tied up. Well, no, she definitely tied up, but her AST is 1,000. It's supposed to be half that or less. She was supposed to go a quarter down tonight. I haven't heard from Kevin just yet what he plans on doing. Kevin is a very conservative horseman, so he may just say, hey, we're not going to race her tonight. That's a possibility. Not sick, so it could go either way, and I'll leave it up to Kevin. I can't begrudge him either way. For those of you out there saying, well, I own a piece of Broadway Roll. I own the vast majority of Broadway Roll, and I trust Kevin McMaster's opinion on this 100%, same as I do Harry, Jason, or anybody else's. These guys, we try our best to take the pressure and the rigors of actually training horses off of them, and all that should be left is the right decisions and the right moves, and everything done for the horse and for our clients, and that's exactly what will happen. And if Kevin looks at Broadway Roll the way she seemed the last 4 days and decides he's not taking her to Kawartha Downs, then I stand wholeheartedly behind him. If he does take her to Kawartha Downs, it will be the same also. So Broadway Roll, now you know as much as I do. I know her blood come back good, but her AST was slightly elevated, and he can race her or not, but that will be the trainer's decision, and I stand behind what Kevin decides on that regard. Cambridge Star, James told me yesterday, he's just not good enough. 2.4, 2.3, he's not going to cut it. And he's right. So now I'm up against the wall. Here's a small Cantab Hall colt with a, 2-3 miles. I thought the mile I went with him 3 weeks ago was pretty good. The mile James went with him wasn't that good. It was okay, but not great. I haven't made my mind up with him, and to be honest, I own 97% of Cambridge Star. So if I sell him or return him out in the field, I don't know yet. I like him. He's handy. He's going to be fun to race. And Jason put it easily. He said, he'll be fun to race in the winter in London, Flamborough. He's handy as hell. You can do what you want with him. He's right. So I might just turn him out. He still is underweight, so put about 150 pounds on him, let his joints cool down and mature. Might be a really nice horse for us this fall, this winter. There isn't a lot to lose there, so I think I might just turn out. Now that I'm talking out loud about it, I might just turn Cambridge Star out. Can't Muscle Me is a filly that we've been working on her knees and trying to get her proper. James said she was good the other day, getting better. So we'll continue to train her and be conservative with her. If there's any hint that there's going to be hiccups, or we're going to have to slow down with her again, or or that we should turn her out, then we will. But for now, she's putting in work. She trained the other day. She'll train again today. I assume she trained. Oh, goodness. We'll come back Wednesday with her. Captain's Maid, as I just said to you, she tied up the other day. Now she's in Pennsylvania because we wanted to get her raced, and she gets sick. So she won't race on Monday. She's going to need a week, maybe two. But we have to get the horses back proper, and it's going around everywhere. You see it in Northfield Park. You see it in Pennsylvania. Just pick up a program. I was in the Meadows the other day, and there were scratches all over the program, same as Northfield, same as Toronto. You're going to see it everywhere. So the most important thing is to do it right. The horse needs time. Give the horse time. So that's what we're going to do with Captain's Maid. Carry a Big Stick comes back today. He's had a long enough layoff. Him and Set the Mood are coming back this afternoon. Cut the Line is going out this week. We're going to give her some time. She showed 2 minutes 58. She's progressing well and looking good, but 58 is just not going to cut it. Knowing that her knees bother her a little bit, seeing the forward progression and the proper work ethic out of this filly, seeing her breeding and how much she's done and in what way she's done it, I can easily say we should turn her out. There's no need to sell her. I think there's more than enough talent there to make you believe that when we bring her back, she could be an effective 2-year-old heading into her sophomore season. So Cut the Line is simply going to go out in the field for a little while. Darling Please is racing on Monday. That's the filly I own. I don't know what to think about her. She made a break on James training the other day. I did threaten harm to James if she makes a break on Monday. But listen, she qualified. She wowed me qualifying. I thought she did everything she should. Class looks good for her on Monday at Mohawk. She's already been there twice. The rail kind of sucks. I know she left from the rail, but James is really going to have to buy some new trotting gloves for Monday because she's no cup of tea. And, Darling Please is not going to go out and just go a pretty little mile. She's going to need some finesse. And not that James doesn't. I mean, James is a great driver. I'm sure he'll get along well with her. I hope he will. I'll be watching intently. I hope I don't have to cross the border, break quarantine, and then break one of his bones because she made a break. I would not want to do that. So, James, if you're watching this, she makes a break. Bad news bears for you. Desperado is in to go this week. They schooled him the other day. Schooled good. He's back in to go, or he's in to go, I think, in a Buckeye. Ronnie Wren's driving him, maybe. I suspect he'll be good. He needed that training trip. He needed that tightener. He's going to need a couple of starts, but I'm pretty happy with what I've seen from Desperado. We'll see how he races on, I don't know, I want to say what day, Monday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday. Eternity Road is now crowd up. He's pretty much all done for the season. It's an odd and difficult case, right? This isn't a case where, he's injured and he needs time off. We wanted to prevent an injury, so I guess it would be along the same lines as turning an immature colt out, even though he's not that immature. The old injury he had in his leg needed addressing. We, both myself and the veterinarian, went back and forth for a number of days trying to figure out the best way forward for this colt, and Dr. McKee had decided that crowing around the area that was injured a long time ago would put supporting scar tissue in there to help with Eternity Road's healing process. Is this a situation where we gallop him for a little while back like we did Johan? Maybe. We'll see. But Eternity Road, he's going to miss some time, but I want to believe this will pay dividends later on in the year when we do start him up and into his sophomore season again. It's obviously a little, I'm trying to spin a bad situation good, but at the same time, there is good in the bad when it comes to horses. When it comes to scratching horses that aren't 100% or not racing horses that it could be detrimental to their overall career. Yeah, the bad part is the now, the good part is the future. And I think Eternity Road has a lot to offer for us. I think everybody that has ever seen him train can see the horse got a ton of ability and a ton of talent. We know what his only issue is. We believe it's treatable, and we've treated it. So, yes, he's not going to race right now, but that's not the end of the world. You know, the Sire Stakes went 56-3 the other day. Would you want to race him? And he would. He would trot as hard as he could to a point where he could injure himself. We're not to a point where he has injured anything of any consequence in his leg. We're trying to ensure that doesn't happen. So That was what we landed on. That is what the vet and I agreed upon. That is what we did. And that is the stance we're taking on Eternity Road. So he won't be ready for a while, but to race for a while. But at the same time, he will be ready, and I suspect he'll be a very effective 3-year-old. First glance was fantastic. Here's a horse. When you see horses making breaks in April and May, and everybody's rushing to conclusions and dumping their shares, I need everybody to understand that. We can take care of the horses. We can fix them up, switch things around, make equipment changes. Must have been a torrential downpour here. There's actually cars in the ditch. You can't park there. Wow. But when it comes to first glance, there's a horse that went through a fairly seismic shift in a short period of time. So nobody can say he's not smart. Here's a horse that was a runaway. Then he got making dirty breaks training. I don't mean dirty. He wasn't making dirty breaks, but he was rolling off. We were having a problem with him. We made some changes. We put flip-flops on him, tightened his hobbles up. We actually had to train him on tranquilizer a couple of times just to get him to relax. And I think as the equipment changes and the shoeing changes and the changes to the way he was trained and training took effect, he learned. He learned quite quickly. And you saw that the other day. Mario raced him from off the pace. He looked like a good horse, closed hard, 26-4, 54 and a piece on the end of it. Just did a lot of really, really good work. And very proud of First Glance and very happy with the work that's been put into this colt. He looked great in his first grassroots, and really looking forward to his second one. Next was Fox Valley Britska, fourth the other night, I believe, but raced great. There was a 5-year-old Andover Hall in there. There was a couple of 4-year-olds. A 3-year-old was in there. They went in 57. Tried a 59 and 1 last half, 59 on a half-mile track. Most notably, he didn't get to train that hard after his qualifier in June. So he was going on 3 weeks with only one hard training trip and not a lot of supporting training trips leading in. Really excited, but I was so impressed with the way he did it. He allowed me to take him off the gate. He sat, behaved, attacked with what energy he had. He did attack with, and raced great. I was very, very happy with it with Fox Valley Britska. He'll be going to Indiana. Now, I didn't get to say in the opening what we're doing. Doug Rideout is a really, really good horseman. Has a small operation, deals mainly with young horses in Indiana. And I'm going to send the horses down there because I want to keep an eye on them also. I like Brandon Bates. He does a great job, but Brandon trains and drives. And I can't tell Brandon, hey, can you train this horse? By the way, I'm coming to drive him. That's unfair to him. I've been in that situation, and I don't like it. So, Doug, I've raced against and known him for a while, off and on. We're not buds. I had to ask somebody for his phone number, but I know of Doug, his brother Daryl, and the Rideout family. Great people, great horsemen. And I think we're going to send That's My Girl, Fox Valley Britska, and hopefully Italian Grit to Doug Rideout this coming week. Next, we have, where are we at? Frilly Fringes. She's out in the field, so is Girls with Swirls. They're both out in the field, going to let them mature. I was a little tied. Now, Frilly Fringes, we know why she went out. Very talented filly. Allergies were bothering her. She was really growing a lot. Just wasn't ready to go, and was not going to be ready to go, and I wasn't going to push her. Girls with Swirls, on the other hand, didn't really show us a lot, right? It was hard for me. I was really had to think this one over. Girls with Swirls has a number of owners on her, and they all virtually said the same thing. I'd like to give the horse some time. So we turned her out. I usually would like to see a reason why we're giving them time, and I did not see that from Girls with Swirls, but she is a very immature filly. They said her palate was flipping easy, and they thought that was more of a maturity thing than anything else. So if we have an Angus Hall who we can train, we can probably race, but not effectively. So do we sell her or keep her? I really left it up to gauging what the clients and the owners of that particular horse wanted to do, and I didn't really have a concrete reason to have to get rid of her now. So at the same time, I thought it was an easy fix. We'll just turn her out, bring her back, and we'll see what we have. So it was a coin flip opportunity there, a coin flip situation, and we landed on turning out Girls with Swirls. Gray is a new red. Great, huge update on her. She's back jogging. She'll begin training next Wednesday. Very, very excited to see her getting ready. Very happy with Gray is a new red. GW Chrome was sick this week. May have been sick in his race, in hindsight. Could have been. He raced as good as he could. We did make some shoeing adjustments for Ohio. He's going to be racing. My first night back will be racing him next Friday, I believe, in Scioto, which gives us lots of time to get him healthy, in shape, and ready to go. Really happy with that. I'll be training him Wednesday at Northfield Park. Holy Chick, she's not back yet, but she's swimming right now. She's swimming at Jared's. Another couple of weeks of swimming. She'll be coming back, starting to jog. Italian Grit is in Northfield Park. He is in to go on Wednesday. I got days, driving suspension days, so I won't be driving him. Luke Ebersol will be driving him. Now, those of you who have seen Luke drive, a bit of a mullet, needs a haircut, nice kid, does his work really well, got a good set of hands on him. I think Italian Grit will be fine. I don't know how much drag his mullet will have on the his mullet will have in the race, but I talked to him last night and I said, hey, he's turned into a really nice horse to drive. He qualified very well for Mario. I didn't look at the program page. I know they've been going around 58, 59, which might be a little much for him. Hit the wood, follow, try and get some money and help turn him into a racehorse. So that's Luke's job with their boy Italian Grit at Glare AM, tied up. I don't even want to talk. This annoys me so much. There's no rhyme or reason for it. We didn't break her routine, just this goddamn heat. 3-4 horses in our barn in Ontario, one in Pennsylvania and one in Ohio maybe, have tied up because of, and I know exactly why it is. When it's 38 degrees in the heat, you're a little dehydrated, the horses are a little dopey in their stall. It is a break in the routine. They're not drinking as much water. We're trying to keep them hydrated, but at the same time, they can tie up. Especially fillies and mares. You look at it, Glare AM tied up. Broadway Roll tied up. Captain's Maid tied up. They all have one thing for certain in common. They're all females. And they all tied up. So a different variety. Captain's Maid will need a week or so. The Glare AM's going to need 2 or more. And Broadway Roll is pretty well raceable. But again, that'll be a game time decision by Kevin McMaster. I'm a Lovely Lady didn't tie up. She looked great. She's a resilient little bugger. My God, she's tough. I love this filly. She looks great on the track. Raced just, out in every turn. 3 wide in the last turn. 3 wide down the backstretch. She saw a lot of Ohio the other night. And raced very, very well. 57-4. You can't ask her to do any more. I draw inside. I want to race against the best fillies next week. I know I'd like to race an easy race, but I want to draw good. I want to race the best that Ohio has to offer next week. And we'll see how good I'm a Lovely Lady is. I'll put her up against anybody right now in Ohio, and I was really, really happy with what I saw from her the other day. I'm Hill on Wheels. Tough decision with him. 2-2's not going to win any races, and he's not getting to 58 anytime soon. A little time. Do we turn him out and let him mature? He's got a few little injuries. I don't know if maybe Sellingham's an option. He did win in 2-2 in a qualifier. He is a Muscle Hill. He does have a stakes-winning filly. As I say it out loud right now, is this a horse that maybe we should sell? Maybe somebody wants to turn him out and wait on a sophomore season. Do we want to do that? Can't answer that, so I don't know. So we'll see what happens with I'm Hill on Wheels. I guess this will be a conversation to have over the next few days with our clients and him. Well, probably won't have the conversation with him. That would be asinine, but I won't see him anyway. So I think there's a conversation we should have with our clients. Do we wait on I'm Hill on Wheels? Do we potentially dip our toe into the open market and see if anybody wants it? I don't know, but we'll see. Jazzy Judy, she will be back in a couple of weeks. No, she'll be back next week. Jogging. It's a filly that I said we might take to Ohio. We sell some of the Ohio breds that aren't getting in and aren't having a lot of luck. Does that free up some space for Jazzy Judy? There's a pool literally beside our barn in Northfield Park. We can swim her and jog her, which might be extremely beneficial to getting her back to the track and on track for the September 23rd stake she has. So these are questions I'm going to have to answer. Like, I don't have enough questions to answer. This one I'm going to have to answer this weekend. When Jazzy Judy's ready to come back, does she come to Ohio? Don't know yet. Jesse Balboa, James said, trained well today. I said, keep training him then. If you think that there's benefit, in training him, close the head. What are you talking about? I don't like the sounds of that. Jesse Balboa, if I left it up to James. Are we benefiting? And is Jesse Melbo benefiting us from continuing to train him right now? James said absolutely. He looked great today. Okay, fine. Keystone Raven will be coming back this week to start back jogging. I believe that's what we've done. To stall for a month, pool for a month, start back jogging. I think that's fair. So Keystone Raven comes back this week, I think the end of this week, to begin jogging. Let's Roll On. We got to get him in sometime in Ohio. I think he might be entered for Friday at Northfield Park. We will see. Look good on the track. Very happy. You know, every day is a new day for Oli. And, you know, any dollar's a found dollar. This is a horse that always just seemed, you know, he always had the grit to get there. But could he? And that's what we were looking for. And it appears that he can, he will, and he has. So I'm excited to see what Let's Roll On's going to do now that he is in Ohio. Lincoln Hanover, as I said, was sold the other day. Miss Meringue raced good. We are going to race her back in the Sire Stakes. We had a couple of people, very fair question. Why are we going to the Sire Stakes? Is the Buckeye not better suited for her? Yes, I think there's an argument to be made there. A fair argument to be made. But the Buckeyes at Northfield, I want to race her in Scioto. I want to race her in the next goal, the next Sire Stakes, try and accumulate enough points to maybe get her in the consolation later in the fall. And at the same time, then we can put her back in the Buckeye, because guess what? The Buckeye after that is back in Scioto. So that's my plan with Miss Meringue. She will race in the next week's Sire Stakes. And then after that, she'll be back in to go. We'll likely put her in the Buckeye, unless she races great, in which case she can continue in the Sire Stakes. But I'm thinking Sire Stakes this week, Buckeye, hopefully final consolation. It would be a good year for us if we could get that done. Mama Knows Best looked great the other day. She'll be back in the Sire Stakes this week. Ronnie Wren really loves her, gets along with her. Some people ask, why didn't you drive her? How could I? How could I drive Mama Knows Best after Ronnie Wren winning in 58 with her? That would be stupid. He raced her the other day. He likes the filly. He's going to stay driving the filly. Makes my job easier. Momo qualified good the other day. She trained good. Really happy with Momo. Excited to see her race on Monday or Tuesday, whenever she races. It's a filly that, I don't know, a lot of question marks with her, but I think she's going to be fun to race. As I said to Jason, just tell Ronnie. I spoke to Ronnie, but I said, just reiterate. She's, as James puts it, she's a one-move filly. Don't come first over with her. You know, don't be in a position to empty her out, because she will. So if you want to leave, sit, save her for the head of the lane, that would be good. But don't look for the bottom of the well with her, if you don't mind. My Jazz was a huge surprise for me. I shouldn't say she was a huge surprise. She's looked good at times. She's a filly that's battling allergies, but the vet believes, I've said this a million times, this is a little different. She raced good the other night. She scoped good after she raced. She's a little sick right now. So it may not have been that she had allergies. It may have been that she was a little sick. She scoped good after the race, not bad after the race. We put her on antibiotics. A lot of shit coming out of her eyes and her nose, which is actually good. So the antibiotics should clean that up. I believe we can. This is a filly on the top side, on the good side of the allergy spectrum, where I believe we can race her competitively and do well. So My Jazz will be definitely in the Sire Stakes. I think she's a Sire Stakes filly. You know, the way she left, the way she sat, the way she tried to attack, I just couldn't get her into the passing lane. Bigger track will take that Murphy blind off the inside of her, and I think you'll see a much better My Jazz. I love this filly. She's been an overachiever since day one, and she raced absolutely fantastic in Northfield her last start. No free lunch races tonight, 2 days ago for you. Expecting good things. I don't really want to see him roughed up, but at the same time, looks like he's in a good spot with this colt. I think Jury will probably float out, sit in a hole. I don't want to see him use too hard, hopefully, but at the same time, love to see him get a win. So no free lunches racing tonight. Northern Blizzard is also racing tonight. New driver for him. I can't drive him. James picked off him, Judas. Travis called me and said I'm in Sarnia. I can't make it back for Georgian. So Jason Ryan, another good friend of mine, young driver, does really well. Jason Ryan is going to drive No Free Lunch. So we'll see how he is. James is in Georgian. He's going to help set up the gear for No Free Lunch for Jason Ryan to drive him. So James won't drive him because he has to drive for Mark Stacy and Sean Stacy because he's a big girl. But Jason Ryan is going to drive the horse for us. Off-Road Hanover race decent. His first start. Like to get some consistent racing out of him. I know he's not in. Problem is with stakes starting up, there's not that 2-year-old maiden isn't written enough. It's a real problem right now. You know, with COVID-19, we were so excited to get back racing. It didn't dawn on us how many horses there were to enter and stay racing full time. The maidens are stocked full of 3-year-olds that can go fast. There's not enough 2-year-old races being written or filled. It's not anybody's fault. They're not actually being filled when they are being written. So it's a problem right across the board, but we need to get a spot to race Off-Road Hanover. And I'll be completely blunt, if that means we send him somewhere to race. I know we had a lot of people saying, can he do in New Jersey? Yes, he can't do in the Meadowlands. He's not racing in the New Jersey Sires. But there are other races for him in New Jersey. Freehold should be a good spot for him. We may find some other maidens. I'm just going to look around and see, is there a place to race maidens that Off-Road Hanover can win? That's the answer I need. Where can Off-Road Hanover win his next start? I don't care where it is. Find it. That's my job for this weekend. And Merriam's. Perfect record, James says, trained well. He's getting closer. We took our time with this guy. They were really happy with the way he looked. Can't wait to see the update on him. We'll go again this week. 2-4, 2-5 with him this week. Then give me an update on perfect record. But he looks good. I saw he's put on some weight. He looks really, really good. Really happy with him. Rito Sunshine will be part of our dispersal